In order to print this out, I need to finish some shirts for a final photo. Macy's needs a back to fit. Started one for David and little Matthew. I spent all night sewing and got nowhere. I forgot to cut David's sleeves on a fold, so now there's an extra seam. These green flaps stop underneath his arms, so I'll need to add a white panel to the back and then attach the sleeves. This is for little Matthew. The back is a normal shirt with angles for the sleeves. The front is an abomination like David's. Why did I think a sleeve could be attached to a right angle gap? I couldn't do the collar with detached shoulders, so I halved the last green strip and sewed back and forth at the bottom, then up the bears, the shoulder, and most of the sleeve angle. Just need to repeat that, see if the neck works, and do a collar. And there were going to be hats. Why didn't I just do hats? All this for a tiny frame picture you'll see once when a doll hangs it on the tree. Now I have my failed hats, because this one's a right angle, and this one is just, I guess, the right shape, too big. So I need to make like Elk's hat.
Hat creation fails.
Yes, I need to make Elk's hat, but smaller, because David has a very small head, and this hat won't fit.
Yeah.
But also this right angle hat does not fit him, I don't think.
Blow, blow, blow. Snotty Christmas.
Yeah, I don't. Does it fit little Matthew? Yes. Okay, it doesn't, it can fit little Matthew. His hair is too, he's got like spikes on the front of his head. Yeah. So, this is good for like Kristoff. This won't fit Grace or Trace because they have giant heads. So this also needs to be bigger and not like a weird right angle. This is a weird hat. So now I must analyze this Santa hat and somehow make a pattern out of that. A circumference of 16 with a height of 8 will fit Macy well. Since my last attempts at a cone were right angles, I used a cone formula to calculate a slant height, thinking if the slants and height were right, the brim would turn out round and make a cone. Testing to fit, it's a fail. Akin to Kristoff's green hat. That's only 10 centimeters, so of course when the pattern is just half of that at 5, it'll make 10. I need 8 on the fold, like Elk's, but an isosceles like this child hat. Little Matthew has a hat, 2 more to go. Once on the fold, cut 2, and added a seam allowance. Cut 2. The included seam allowance could have been smaller to accommodate for cutting the pattern out to the David's shirt needs Velcro, but great fit. Macy's back is loose, fits over the feet, cute enough for a front photo. And yes, her tree hats are sideways, so I could sew less seams. The hat fits Sandy. Next is headbands. And Matthew's shirt. Eight seems to also work for her head. It's about here. Now it's 6.5, and I'm going to cover it with this brown to make a reindeer. And this can be the antlers. I tried out red and green beads. Too many beads in a row. I settled on yellow around the antlers. I made mini bows, but kept ripping the chopped up bias tape. That's why I'm making are just knots. I got only one true bow. Sew the wire into the snow bunny and close those sides. Little Matthew with his snow bunny looking thing.
Yeah.
And Macy's got her antlers. And David's got the white antlers.
Yeah.
With little yellow things around his antlers, like
they're being reindeer.
Like bells. And then Jason has got the one that's green with the bows. And Kristoff's just hanging out with his dragon fin.
Probably be rendered
paralyzed from snake venom. And if it's talking snakes, then the venom could probably have some sort of magical property to it.
Yeah.
Thus, it would put X into a coma. People think he's dead. But by the time that he's unveiled in the dream pocket, he wakes up from it. But he's not quite the same as he was before.
That's not good.
A bit more snake than human at this point.
Uh-oh.
He's going to be commenting. I see fear. I see the heat of victory. I see magic swirling around that wand. Why is everything tinted green?
I don't know why, dude. Why? Here's some more awkward sped up footage that you can't tell what's going on. At least the thing is in frame. The subject is not staying still enough to see any progress made. That's the problem. Okay, we're just gonna move along now. They're attached short in the back. I've extended the toe piece on this secondary pattern to extend the shoe out of back. This first one did not have. So from the toe down to the heel, I went backwards for that. Sewed around the other side to the heel, and then across this flap, and then back around to make a shoe. So I printed this out, and it looks terrible. Look, there's redness all over Macy's face, David's. I put on this one, and this picture just looks like it's on fire. I can't see much wrong with this. USBs look fine. Other than the fact that like the edges are probably this maybe too thin. Motions looks fine except for whatever this weird spot is. Her hair is on fire too. Oh my. And so I printed it out a second time, and it looks exactly the same as before. More weird spots. And then weirdest of all, flipping the paper over and putting it back in the printer has made an ink spot. You can see the shape of this fold. Well, don't touch that, just get ink on your finger again. So, I guess I'll just do these, see if they work, and print this out again when the printer makes sense. On another note, I made slippers. Now I can make another one out of this hat. Ripping seams. Oh, this is too fuzzy. There. Ooh. Got in a new tripod and started a new video last month. Here are the shoes. Now for the real reason I wanted to make this video, picture frame tree ornaments. I color the cutout to resemble pine needles. I had in mind David having candy canes for gingerbread since he's a baker. I rolled clay too thin and just mixed the colors instead of spiraling them. Reminds me of peppermint bark's uneven pieces, which then made me add green into some canes. Kristoff is going to be a star. I might add pom-poms since he would like to have more color on his ornament. Grace is a pretty pumpkin bread house. Trace just wanted glitter. These these pictures needed a support. Next is Matthew's snowflake. I folded the corners to the center, trimmed them off, and cut out a design. They were ripped from being too thin. I make a bigger one, laying them out. No, this snowflake is too big. Like Matthew's ego. Glitter snowflake or snow leaf. In a stroke of genius, Ocean is the Grinch, and Floppy Jalopy is Max.